What is up, guys? Today we are improving the look, feel, and fit of the Dyna by changing out some foot pegs, shifters, brake arm, maybe some controls, and I made a little bit of a mistake, but let's get into it. Alright, so the main point of this video was to switch out the foot pegs. I don't like these floorboard things, mini floorboards they have on this. We were going to get rears to match. We're going to replace the brake arm, hopefully. And then, of course, match the other side with a different shift arm and everything. And it kind of dawned on me, because we're going to have black shifter, black peg, the rear's black. The brackets are chrome. Over here is where it's going to be like the biggest obvious thing. We're going to have this big chrome bar, black, black, engine black. Now this is staying chrome, but then the rear set is black. So that leads me to a conundrum. I think what I'm gonna have to do is powder coat this stuff. So this video is gonna take longer than expected, but we can also do some other things while we're here. I do want to try, keyword try, I do want to try and cut these levers, cut them down, maybe to about here, try to make it like a 2/3 finger lever. Just chop them off, sand them down, and try to get them to where they look respectable, and just see if we can get that done on a budget, since we already have to have everything else sanded down. We'll try to get it as good as we possibly can, and just see how it works out. Also, since we're getting stuff powder coated, for now, I want to take this cover off and that cover off and get them powder coated black. I don't mind the chrome primary and a little bit of the chrome engine, but these covers just don't look as good in chrome. They look like they stick out. I wish they were black, so we're going to try and make it black. And I'm sure you see that we're missing a big part here. We're taking the exhaust off and changing that out. And you pretty much have to take that stuff off to do all this. So this is the opportune time to do that. The Dyna's on the lift. It's going to be on the lift for a little bit. We're going to try to change all this stuff out in the best order possible. So yes, exhaust is getting changed out and all those things. And we're just going to make the best of our time. Alright, so this little pin did not want to come out of here. It goes through here. Did not want to come through. So let me show you what I did. It's stuck up like this. And what I did is I took a socket that was bigger than the head of this. I put the socket through like this, and with the pin sticking up, I took a pair of pliers and push down, and I was able to get enough leverage to push the pin through. And since I was clamping on the socket, I wasn't clamping on the head of this pin, and I was able to get it. But I soaked it in some penetrating oil for a little bit and then did that. That was a pain in the butt, but we've got this side taken off. All right, this very ugly bracket here that does the stock exhaust, I don't think any other exhaust uses it. I hope not anyways. But we're going to take it off. And if it does use it, then we'll paint it black before we put it back on. But it's got 3 Torx bits here, here, and here. And the problem is almost impossible to get. So I used this setup, a little tiny Torx bit with the vice grips, and I was able to get that busted loose, but now you can't get that in there. So now we're going to attempt to get it out just by clamping this, and we'll see what happens. Hell yeah. All right, guys, it is the next night, and boy, did we kind of fail yesterday. Kind of put ourselves up against the wall, but that's okay. You are looking at a complete mess. Yesterday, the goal was to just get all the controls off, and as soon as I was doing that, I realized, well, we have chrome controls, and we're putting on a bunch of black stuff, so it may be worth getting these powder coated and going forward with that. Well, in doing that, we went down a rabbit hole. We were taking everything off, and we wanted to take this bracket off right here. Now this bracket went, I think it was like this, or maybe it was like this. I can't remember. But it was sitting out here like this, and it just looks ugly, doesn't it? You just see that stained bracket. That's the stock exhaust bracket, and it was ugly. So in order to take that off, we had to use a pair of vice grips, needle nose, and clamp one of these T27 bits in there, because that is all the room you have. That's it. You can't get a socket and anything in there. And then the clutch cable was in the way for the back bolt here. So in my infinite wisdom, I was like, all right, the bike's standing up. I don't quite know where the oil is. I know the drain's down here. Let's just pop this off, move the cable. Probably won't drip out much. Yeah, we lost a lot of oil. We got gear oil everywhere. We had to do a lot of cleaning. It was an absolute mess. We went down a side quest that was just nasty and terrible. And as soon as we popped this cover, the wife came into the garage. Luckily, she was able to help grab some cleaning supplies for me. I just didn't think it was going to drop that much oil. I'm just an idiot. And then right after we got that kind of situated, wasn't paying attention, she come out here and started a load of laundry, and the washer and dryer is right here, so there was no more filming going on after that. So we are on to a next step. I was going to go ahead and chop these tonight. Well, the grinder I have is a super thick wheel, and that's going to be kind of hard. So we're not doing that tonight either. I need to get a thinner disc. But our new controls or pegs came in. Let's take a look at that. All right, let's take a look and see what we got. Ooh. So we got peg. We got our clevises. More pegs. We got, I believe that's the brake arm. Got shift lever. Did I screw up in ordering these? Okay, this day just got rough. The shift arm and the brake arm I don't think are correct. There's a discrepancy about it. Pretty sure we can get those sent back because I didn't open them. I can tell through the package, and we are missing a set of pegs. It happens, so we're gonna get in touch with them and get this sorted out. But yeah, every time we take a step, we can't even take a step forward with this bike. I come out here to do some work today and all I did was clean up. So yeah, on to the next. All right, we are back and we ordered some of the wrong parts. We ordered the dyna lowrider shift arm and brake lever. The lowrider version is for the newer versions. I think the 14 through 16, don't quote me. Or maybe 14 to 18, something like that. But so we ordered the wrong ones. They did forget to put an extra set of pegs in there for us. So this is what's gonna happen. They have already shipped out the replacement parts. That was my screw up, and another set of pegs. So that's awesome. Awesome on them. We're gonna ship back the parts that I got wrong, but it is really cool that they shipped it out before we even shipped ours out. That's pretty cool. So I messaged him, he got it straight right away. Awesome. Go check out Crossthread. Things happen. I never judge a company by a mistake. I always judge them based on how they correct that mistake, and you can't correct it any better than Crossthread did. You know, it's the holidays. It was a Black Friday sale. I'm pretty sure and hope he got a crazy amount of orders. So things like this happen. Mine was a big order and one of them was a duplicate. So that happens. But let's jump into what we're doing today. All right, so we got the lift and bike lowered down because today our main goal is to chop these right here. We want to chop these so we have less fingers on the control. Let me just kind of show you what I'm looking for. My goal with this is to be able to like easily pull this back and kind of have just like 3 fingers. I want to kind of cut that much off. So I want to cut and kind of reshape this and then get this powder coated. Now you can buy levers that are already like this, but I thought since we already have things that we need to powder coat, we're gonna try to do it ourselves. So what I'm probably gonna try and do is just go ahead and do one side without the worry of filming and doing all that kind of stuff, and then we'll film the other side. I do have another set of levers here that I believe came off my 2010 back in the day. So if we make a mistake, we have levers we can throw right back on. And of course, if we still want shorter levers and we can't do them, we can always order. All right, so not gonna lie, not really happy with the results. I don't have any nice like sanders or anything like that. So it's gonna be really hard to get this smoothed out. And I think it's gonna look like crap when we powder coat it. And getting them even on both sides, it's probably not going to work out for me. So I think we're going to trash these. I might get the spare set powder coated just to have them. You can get some just cheapo levers pretty cheap. So I might do that and just kind of keep moving forward with this because the spike's going to be kind of nice. So I don't want to have levers that aren't the same length. Like I said, I'm kind of doing this with just regular grinder and sander, or not even a sander. I'm using a flapper disc on another grinder. So me thinking that this was going to be a good idea was just stupid. But I figured I'd include this because sometimes you never know what you can do until you try and do it. And I think I don't have the proper tools and skill level to do this. So I think we're going to leave this one alone. So the bike's pretty much going to stay the way it is. I'm going to get a bunch of my parts around. I'm going to go get everything powder coated, and then we will work from there. Hopefully we'll get that back sometime this week, but we're going to get our 2 side covers on this side powder coated, and we're going to get the brackets that we use for our pegs and stuff. We're going to get that stuff powder coated. And all this stuff's going to be black, so it's going to look way better with the pegs we chose. And it's not going to be so much chrome on this bike. I know some people are probably, you know, wishing we kept some chrome, but I think we're going to have enough chrome. It's going to accent the motor and everything a little better. But hopefully I'm going to try to get up with my buddy and maybe we can record some of the process of the powder coat. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully When you see me next, we'll be doing some powder coat. If not, we'll have the parts back from powder coat. All right, so we finally made it to my buddy's house. We're doing some powder coating. He's already done one piece. I'll show you that in a second, but he's starting to do another one. So we got it set up. We got the mounts. He's got a nice little setup right here. Easy to spray all the powder. Making these chrome black. We've already got this one done hanging, and we're gonna put it in the oven and see what it looks like. We got a few more pieces over here to get done, but we'll see how everything looks once it's done. All right, so we're finally back at the house. We have some of the powder coated parts, but before we get into that, let me show you the condition of the bike, because we've been doing a little bit. All right, so for the most part, the bars are different. While we were waiting on some of the powder coated stuff to get done, I decided to work on the handlebars. So basically we switched out the riser and the bar. The powder coating parts are going to, this video is going to come out before this one does, but we're kind of running behind on time, so I've been working on that. We are not done by any means. I want to get this wrapped up before we jump into this, because once we get this put back together, then we can do the exhaust and really start putting this thing back together where we can ride it and easily move it. But here are the parts we have so far. These are the two brackets that we got powder coated. That is what was basically holding us up, because we need to put these on before we put the exhaust back on. We got our extra set of levers powder coated. We went a little light on the inside just to help with fitment issues. And we have the one cover. So he still has the cover for the coil, and he has the dash. We took the dash off as we were doing the handlebar video, and I ordered a different cap for each side in black. So then we're going to do the dash black to match. I think it's going to really look good on the color we chose to go with for the tins. You're going to have to subscribe and follow to find out what that is. So he still has that. There's a small blemish on the coil one, so he wants to redo that at the same time he does the tank dash. Should have all those back soon, but that's not really going to inhibit this video. The main thing for this was the brackets. So let's get to installing. All right, this side's done. We have the shift in the middle position. There's 3 holes right here. We have it in the middle position because that's stock. If we want to lengthen this out a little bit, we can put it 1 hole here. If we want to make it a little shorter, we can put it 1 hole back. We have the arrow shift peg, the arrow regular peg. We are going to put that back here. We're going to put an arrow peg back there. But yeah, this is pretty much the easy side, so we went ahead and knocked that out. We did end up putting some Loctite down here, and we did flip this screw around just to make it look a little cleaner instead of having a bolt come through with a nut and all that sticking through. But yeah, this side's pretty much done. We're going to throw the back peg on real quick and go to the other side. All right, now that we got that side done, it's a little bright. We got a lot more light on this side of the bike. It's going to be easier to see. Now let's get this side done. Also, as an added bonus, we swapped out the master cover here. This was the old one, really bad. That's the new one. It's just a cheap one on Amazon or eBay or something like that. You're not really going to see it that well. No one's probably going to notice it, but if someone did see something like that, they definitely would notice that. That's just ugly and dingy, and I wanted to get that switched out. All right, the biggest problem now is I'm going to have to remember how all this stuff kind of goes together. So we're going to kind of remember and figure that out together. Gotta love trying to put these clips back together. All right, clips back in. Got us some pedal action going on. Let's see. Before we mount it, we got to get this thing back together. Let's figure that out. Should just be this right here. Turn that around. Put our little pigtail looking squiggly screw thing back through there. But now I think we can mount it. Look at that. Look how easy that was. Now I'm going to take one of these, I'm going to take these out one by one and just throw a little bit of Loctite in it. Alright, of course we're using the same pegs as the other side. So we'll get these installed and put the brake arm on, and we are almost done here. Alright, well the GoPro battery died. We finished up. Let me show you what we got. So we got our brake arm here, or here's our brake arm. We got our peg. There's the arm, brake pedal. They're actually the same thing. I was thinking this was going to be a little smaller. Maybe I wish it was a little smaller, not sure. But we're going to have to basically adjust all this once we can get the bike down, settled. We also threw the rear peg on. But once we get the bike down, we can sit on it. We have a lot of adjustability. So even with this, we can adjust the pitch. With this rod right here, we have a little bit of adjustment, and then we can adjust, the pitch of this. And again, this is in the middle position, so we can move it out a little far forward. or you can bring it back depending on how close you want it to you. That is a very nice aspect right there. This side over here might also need to be adjusted once we get on the bike. It does look a little low there. We may have to take that out and go up one hole. But again, until I can really sit on this bike and know exactly what we're doing, we're going to have to we're just going to leave it the way it is. And I almost forgot, we got the fuse cover back on after getting powder coated. We're still waiting on the coil cover. We should get that in a couple days, but that's not really that important for this video. Now let's swap out these new levers that we got powder coated, and that's pretty much going to wrap this up. Alright, so we are pretty much done. The levers are on. You watched me struggle with the little clips that I cannot stand. The bike's kind of in a position where we need to move on. All the powder coating stuff's pretty much done. We got a couple parts left to get back. But the controls are on. I just need to get the bike down and spend some time with it, getting everything kind of adjusted where we need to be. And it's really nice about those parts is that everything can be customized and kind of tailored to how you want to ride, how big your foot is. And this is kind of like higher scale. Not that it costs a lot of money. These parts are not that expensive from Crossthread. They're a really good deal. Great company. If you want to check them out, check them out. Crossthread Cycle. But it's kind of on the higher level of like adjustability. Like there is some adjustability on some things stock, but this is pretty much as you're going to get now. We have that adjustable arm we put on a different video for the shift linkage. So now we can really tailor in our height. And then we have the peg that can be adjusted in 3 different mounts. We can rotate our pegs that we actually put our feet on. And then on the brake side, again, we can rotate that arm just a little bit from stock. And then we have an arm that we can rotate, arm with 3 different positions. So we can take the peg and mount it in 3 different positions and rotate it and have exactly what we want, how we want to have it. It's pretty great. The levers, they're just painted black or powder coated black. I did try to cut them a little short on the stock, and that did not work out. I was a little overly optimistic, but that's okay. So now we just have black ones, which that's pretty cool. And everything's matching pretty good. So now it is time to finally wrap this video up and move on to something else. I know for you guys, it's been a pretty quick video, but for me, it's been weeks, just with people being sick, kind of doing one thing or the other, trying to get stuff done. I think it's taken me a couple of weeks to do this. So comment down below if you like these parts, if you, what brands are you running? What stuff do you have going on? I'm excited about doing more work on this bike. It's going to be great to get back to the exhaust now, maybe wrap up these hand controls. But I'm going to do something that I never, ever do, and I need to start doing, and maybe you guys need to do as well. I'm not going to move on to the exhaust right now. I'm actually going to clean up. I've left some of the tools out because I've been doing multiple jobs. The handlebars are mostly buttoned up. The exhaust is, coming up. I'm going to throw away a lot of the stuff that we don't need, trash. I'm going to clean some tools, put the tools up. I never do that. I need to get into a habit of that. And I'm going to do better moving forward. That's my plan anyways. So please like this video, subscribe if you're not subscribed. And as always, keep it wretched.